Whatever.
She's on that till 2029. 2029.
Yeah,
Are
no,
you
that's
with
what
the
I'm
Fever till
saying.
2029?
Hey, I love playing with you.
Yeah, well, I'm only signed till...
Yeah. Well, don't worry about that.
Well, next year.
Don't worry.
She said, well, hey, look, I'm only signed till next year. I love playing with you too, but I'm only signed till next year. You're here till 2029. I'm not necessarily, respectfully. You know what?
Did you catch what she just did? Caitlin Clark sitting across from Aaliyah Boston. And when Boston casually mentions that contract running through 2029, Clark doesn't nod along. She doesn't smile and confirm. She drops a bomb wrapped in a soft voice. I'm not necessarily respectfully. That's not a slip. That's a message. And the Indiana Fever organization should be terrified right now.
Caitlin Clark joined Aaliyah Boston and Candace Parker on their podcast, Post Moves. Great episode, by the way. And there was something that I noticed. Caitlin Clark was not committing to the Indiana Fever long term when her and Aaliyah Boston talked about Aaliyah Boston's contract. We got to get into it. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification, and hype the video. That'd be greatly appreciated.
This happened on Post Moves, the podcast hosted by Aaliyah Boston and Candace Parker. And Clark didn't stumble into this. She walked in knowing the question about her contract was coming. Boston had just talked about opting into her own Supermax extension, the deal the league created specifically for rookies who make all WNBA during their first contract. Clark qualifies for the exact same deal. Aaliyah signed hers, Caitlin. Suddenly very non-committal.
Open. She didn't say, well, I signed my Epic next year. She said, unless I sign it. She did not say, I am signing it. I don't think she should commit to signing it yet. Don't commit to them till they commit to you. Until they lean into you, you don't lean back into their ass.
Listen to the phrasing again. Unless I sign it. Not when I sign it. Not after I sign it next year. Unless. That single word is doing a tremendous amount of work, and it's aimed directly at Amber Cox, Kelly Krauskopf, and Stephanie White. The message reads loud and clear: do right by me, or I walk to free agency the first chance the collective bargaining agreement allows.
And then he said, well, we're witnessing the biggest bag fumble of all time by the Indiana Fever. Wow. And I agree. Now, what this is the yearly league attendance by the team. Now, you already know, the Indiana Fever, they're doing absolutely anything to get people to come out to these games. They're doing all type of gimmicks that we hadn't seen them do. We hadn't had to see them go to within Caitlin Clark's first 2 seasons. All of a sudden, they're giving away free tenderloin sandwiches. They're giving away free oil changes. They're doing housing.
And here's why the leverage is real. Look at the WNBA attendance standings circulating right now. The ones Rolls-Royce put on blast. Golden State Valkyries, in their second season, sitting at number 1. New York Liberty at number 2. Atlanta Dream, powered by Angel Reese, climbing fast despite playing in one of the smallest venues in the league. Las Vegas Aces with Aja Wilson at number 4. And the Indiana Fever, 5th, with Caitlin Clark on the roster.
Liberty, who does pretty well year over year. You got the Atlanta Dream, who have upped it with the addition of an Angel Reese. And they have a really good team, but they play in a tiny gym in Atlanta. But they've been able to get more people out, especially on the road. You got the Las Vegas Aces with Aja Wilson. And then you have the Indiana Fever all the way down here at number 5. Talk about a choke job. Talk about fumbling the bag. Talk about running away an entire...
Think about how absurd that is. The team employing the single biggest gate attraction in the history of women's professional basketball. The player who personally pulled the entire league's television numbers into the millions. The rookie who made every away arena sell out in 2024 and 2025, and they can't crack the top 3 in their own building. That's not a slump, that's organizational malpractice. And the franchise knows it, which is why the gimmicks have gotten desperate. Free tenderloin sandwiches at the gate. Free oil changes, furniture giveaways. Promotional flyers featuring Raven Johnson, who averages roughly 1 point per game in 5 minutes of action, instead of the face of the franchise. You don't run those promotions when business is good. You run those promotions when the building is hollow.
You guys putting Raven Johnson, who plays 5 minutes a game, averaging 1 point a game, on flyers instead of Caitlin Clark plays an effect on the attendance. You guys don't think the fact that you keep trying to put Kelsey Mitchell front and center on all the promotional kits and put Caitlin Clark off to the side, that has an effect? It all matters, man. It's marketing, dude. What are y'all doing? What the hell are y'all doing? This organization, that's why I said, I'm glad she didn't go on and commit to signing on Aaliyah Boss's podcast. Hold their fucking feet to the fire. Hold their feet to the fire, man. They got you down here with the...
And the marketing decisions tell their own story. Kelsey Mitchell front and center on the promotional kits. Caitlin Clark off to the side. The team trading minutes and touches and possessions to players like DeWanna Bonner, who walked away from the situation mid-season, and Sophie Cunningham, while the supposed franchise player gets nudged into the corner of the picture. Combine that with the on-court product, with head coach Stephanie White's offensive system that consistently pulls the ball out of Clark's hands in late-game situations, and you start to understand why the most loyal fan base in women's sports is voting with their wallets.
Organization, I think Caitlin Clark needs to seriously consider walking away from the Indiana Fever. Don't sign that epic deal. Pack your bags and go elsewhere. Walk away from them. I mean, if they don't get it together, you got to hold their feet to the fire. I would, coach, get out of my way. Y'all gonna start promoting me like I am the greatest player, because I am, and I'm the face of this league, point blank, period. There's nobody that draws like Caitlin Clark. Look at the viewership. And you will be treated as such, or else you could leave they ass. Leave her. You leave. Y'all think y'all fit? Y'all fell to 5th in attendance with her on the team. Wait till she not on it. Y'all remember them days playing in the barn when y'all couldn't get no fans to come out, right? Don't play yourself. Get down.
So now let's talk about what this contract leverage actually looks like in practice, and why Caitlin Clark sitting on that podcast with Aaliyah Boston and dropping the word unless is the single most important off-court moment of the WNBA season. Start with the structure of the Supermax. The league negotiated this provision specifically to keep generational rookies from bolting the moment their entry-level deals expired. Make an all-WNBA team during your rookie contract, and you unlock the right to sign a maximum extension at numbers that didn't exist for previous generations of players. Aaliyah Boston earned it. She opted in. She told her front office she believed in the project in Indiana. Caitlin Clark earned it too, and she just told the entire basketball-watching public that the door is wide open. This is the same playbook the best NBA players have used for 15 years. LeBron in Cleveland, Anthony Davis in New Orleans, Kawhi in San Antonio. You don't have to demand a trade. You don't have to torch the locker room. You simply refuse to commit beyond what's contractually required, and you let the front office twist in the wind while they figure out whether they're capable of building a winner around you. The leverage isn't in what you say. The leverage is in what you refuse to sign. And in Indiana, the front office should be in panic mode. Because the math is brutal. The Fever drew historic numbers in 2024 and 2025 specifically because of Caitlin Clark. The league signed an 11-year, $2.2 billion media rights package, largely because of the audience she brought with her from Iowa. National broadcasts featuring Clark routinely cleared 2 million viewers, with several games topping 3 million. Games she missed because of the quad strain and the groin injury earlier this year saw immediate measurable drops in viewership. That's not opinion, that's Nielsen data. Now consider what happens if Clark hits unrestricted free agency. Toronto, with Sandy Brondello already in place as head coach, becomes a real destination. So does Portland. So does any expansion franchise, willing to build the entire organizational infrastructure around her. The Fever would be left with the worst possible outcome in professional sports. They developed the asset, they reaped the early benefits, and then they fumbled the long-term commitment because the front office couldn't get out of its own way. And here's the layer most people aren't talking about. The Stephanie White hiring was supposed to be the basketball answer. White had championship pedigree. She had a defensive identity. She had history with the franchise. Instead, what we've watched in 2025 is an offensive system that doesn't maximize the most lethal pull-up shooter the women's game has ever seen. Sideline incidents involving physical contact that drew real criticism from analysts across the country, and a press conference cadence that has the head coach answering questions about Clark's role, rather than featuring it. When the player publicly hesitates on a contract extension, that hesitation is a referendum on coaching and front office decisions, not a referendum on the city of Indianapolis. The fans understand this, which is why the attendance numbers are what they are. Fever fans aren't punishing Caitlin Clark. They're punishing an organization that they believe is mishandling Caitlin Clark. The empty seats are a message. The dropping merchandise numbers are a message. The away game attendance still being strong, while home attendance softens, is a message. Indianapolis loves the player. Indianapolis is losing patience with the people running the team. So what should Clark actually do? Hold the line. Refuse to sign the extension until the very last possible moment under the new collective bargaining agreement. Force Amber Cox and Kelly Krauskopf to come to her with a complete plan, a coaching evaluation, a roster construction philosophy that treats her like the franchise cornerstone she actually is. And if they can't deliver, take the meeting with Toronto. Take the meeting with Portland. Take the meeting with whoever values her properly, because the next contract she signs will define the back half of her prime. The Fever spent 2 seasons proving they could squander a generational gift. The 5th best attendance ranking, with the biggest draw in the sport on the roster, is the receipt. And Caitlin Clark just told everyone watching that she's reading the receipt very carefully. So here's the question I want answered in the comments. Should Caitlin Clark sign the Supermax extension with Indiana? Or should she let it expire and force a real bidding war for her services? Pick a side, don't sit on the fence, because the next 18 months are going to define the trajectory of this league, and the choice she makes will be the most consequential decision any WNBA player has ever made on a contract. Drop your take below, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Because when the next move happens in this saga, we're going to break it down first.